Welcome to episode 9 of the SU Coaching Podcast. This podcast is a little bit different. So I recorded this episode when I was on the go, but I really wanted to share it with you, and I wanted to share it just raw instead of redoing it. So you can hear like delightful noises of Brixton in the background as I'm going. So in this episode, I explore how walking through your career with lower confidence is like walking with a stone in your shoe. No one else can necessarily see the fact that you've got a stone in your shoe, but you can feel it, and eventually you have to sort of start walking a bit funny to accommodate it. And that's just like what a lot of my clients go through. They're progressing in their careers, but they have this stone in their shoe, which is a lack of confidence or a feeling of lower confidence than they want. And they feel that all the time, just like you feel a stone in your shoe all the time, even when nobody else can see it. If this is you, you can feel it. And pretty soon you have to start doing all kinds of behaviours to adapt to this stone that's in your shoe that you're still trying to walk with. Just like when you've got a stone in your shoe and you have to start kind of walking funny to accommodate for it. If you're feeling a lack of confidence in your career, but you keep walking, you keep progressing, you can feel the pain of it, and you also have to start, doing specific behaviours and doing like workarounds to accommodate for it. So stick with me as I explore these themes in this episode. And I talk a lot in this episode about the Confident at Work programme. We restart the programme in September and we have a few spots left. So if you're somebody who identifies with this episode and you're like, yes, this is me, I'm walking through my career with a stone in my shoe, I'm not as confident as I want to be, I invite you to come and join us in the Confident at Work programme. We have some awesome women already in there. It's a 7-month journey that we're going to take together, and you will be changed for life. So I'll leave all the details in the show notes. Please enjoy the episode and forgive all the noises in the background. Today I was walking and I had sandals on and I got a stone in my shoe, and I walked a little bit and then I realised that it was painful, but it was annoying to take my shoe off, so I just kept walking. And then I realised that my foot was hurting and I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to stop and I'm going to take my sandal off and I'm going to take the stone out. I'm going to put my sandal on and I'm going to carry on walking. Now, you may think this is a random, ridiculous story, but it's relevant because my clients, the clients who work with me in the Confident at Work programme, have been working essentially with a stone in their shoe for probably the most part of their careers. And that particular stone is the confidence that they don't feel. Is the self-doubt, is the self-talk, is the wondering if they should be where they are, doubting their abilities, doubting their judgment, downplaying their successes, all of that together we call like feeling, underconfident. That is the stone in my client's shoe. And in the Confident at Work programme, we aim to stop you, help you to take off your shoe, help you to shake out that stone and any other junk that's in there and put your shoe back on. And when you start walking again, you might notice that your foot still hurts a little bit, but the stone is now gone. And you might have been walking with the stone in your shoe for a really long time. So maybe what's happened is you've got a bit of a blister on your foot now, which hurts. And maybe what's happened is you have started walking a little bit funny as a compensation. So now your knee slightly hurts and your hip slightly hurts. So what I see with my clients who join the Confident at Work programme is that the stone has been in their shoe for a long time, so they've found ways of dealing with it. They found like compensations, if you like. They've developed a way of walking funny, well, in this instance, they've developed ways round things, so that they can carry on walking in their career with this stone of underconfidence still in their shoe. And I find it's things like, got a presentation, need to know everything, don't know everything. If I don't know something, everyone will think I'm crap at my job and I'm a fraud, and that's going to feel terrible. So I script the whole thing out. I over-prepare to death. I spend 16 hours preparing for the presentation. I freak out. I have diarrhea. I don't sleep the night before. Right? All of these behaviours are the equivalent of kind of walking a little funny to accommodate the fact that this stone is still in your shoe. Another behaviour that I see is when people don't speak up and say what it is they need to say, whether that's in a meeting, in a senior leader's setting, or whether there's something they disagree with or they want to challenge and they don't say it. They don't, but then they develop this secondary problem, a pain in their hip, if you like, where they get frustrated with themselves and beat themselves up and tell themselves, oh, this is ridiculous, and what are you doing, and everybody else can do it, and you don't deserve to be here, and all of that. So because they've still been walking around with this stone of a lack of confidence in their shoe the whole of their career, they've now kind of developed this funny walk and a pain in their hip, which in this case is the method of beating themselves up afterwards and telling themselves, next time you've got to do this better. But all that happens is you create more fear next time around and you make it even harder. So another thing that I see, so let's say you've been walking so funny, you've developed a pain in your back, and in order to mask that, you take to standing a certain way. And the equivalent of you standing this certain way to accommodate the fact that you have the stone of a lack of confidence in your shoe is that you start pretending. You start faking it. You start to, fake it till you make it, right? That's what we're taught. But this is just another form of accommodating the fact that you still have this stone in your shoe, this stone of a lack of confidence. In order to get around it, I've got hay fever. You start faking it, right? That's a compensating method. But that's really hard too, because when you're faking it all the time, you can't be yourself. It's very difficult. You have to watch how you're being perceived. But it's very difficult. Another thing that you do to compensate when this stone is in your shoe is you constantly worry about how you're being perceived. So you might be in a meeting or you might be giving a presentation, and instead of really focusing on your audience and your work, you're focusing on how you're being perceived, right? You have to cover up for the fact that this stone is in your shoe, and in order to do that, you stay in your own head and you worry constantly, how am I being perceived? Do I need to change something? Do I have to tweak something? What are their faces saying? How are they observing me? Right? That is just another way you've been compensating for having this stone in your shoe. So, if you have been having this stone in your shoe for however many years, I'm going to invite you to take some time with me and join the Confident at Work program so that you can take off the shoe and shake out the one stone that's causing all of these different problems. You might not know how to take off the shoe and shake out this stone, this lack of confidence, but I do. This is what I do with people day after day, year after year, and they get great results. So, if you finally want to walk through your career with some more comfort and some more confidence, take the time, join the program, shake the lack of confidence stone from your shoe. Let's heal your foot and your knee and your hip and your back and let's get you walking and standing straight for the rest of your career. This is important. Women in leadership roles like yours is important. And I'm going to help you to do that. Okay, thank you.